Hey beauties, good morning to you beautiful people. Alright, listen to me now, beauties. We live in a world where we have really, maybe unwittingly, subliminally, overtly, just directly contribute to the mayhem that is happening in the family in terms of the havoc, wreaking havoc, just creating a lot of unnecessary problems because of mindsets. One in particular is this thing that if people are in ministry, that they must be married. I can understand the reason behind, for example, if a man says he wants to become a pastor, why you would encourage him to get married, because you don't want the temptation for him to be sleeping around with several women and or to be having sex outside of marriage. Can I tell you, marriage would not stop that even? Why you think we have a lot of these scandalous situations coming out, and there are many skeletons in people's closets? We have to be very careful, and what ends up happening is that you're pushing people to people who they don't have that connection with. It's not God's best. It's like they're taking the good versus even the better, much more even the best. The better is the enemy of the best, and good is the enemy of the better. So they're actually probably taking the bronze instead of the gold. I was reading a scripture in Isaiah 60 today, where God says, I'm going to not give you bronze anymore, but give you gold. Yes, I knew something why I never liked bronze. There's just something about bronze I just never ever liked. I don't know. It's like I wish they had used a different color for third place. I read it using the Good News Translation somewhere in the book of Isaiah 60. And I said to myself, we have pressured too many people in marriages. That's why some young people don't like to go around older people, unfortunately, because if they're single, let us say they're in their 30s, probably even in their 40s, and they're not yet married, it means that they have a defect. Something is wrong with them. Even though the 30-year-old or 30-odd-year-old or the 40-year-old or the 40-odd-year-old is enjoying his or her single time because they just like being single, it doesn't mean something is wrong with their sexuality. They have a healthy heterosexual modus of operandi in terms of how they're made. But they just say, you know what? It may take time, but I have to make sure I don't get the enemy of the best, or even the enemy of the better, or even the enemy of the good, which is bad. I want the best person for me. And they pressure people into marriage. There are some churches, if you're going into ministry, whether you're becoming a pastor, just full-time ministry, whether missionary or whatever it is, they will tell you have to be married. That's why some people run and get married. They tell women something is wrong with you, you're defective, you're a selfish person, you're narcissistic and whatnot. Why is it that you're not married? Worse yet, or even better yet, if you look aesthetically good, you're in a good job, you speak well, you're educated, you're bright, they now revert that something must be wrong with her personality, or rather something is wrong with her character. Something is wrong with her character. And the reality is that nothing may be wrong with her character or his character. They find joy in being single. Remember, Paul said, yes, he said it is better to marry than to burn, because he wouldn't want you to go and live a promiscuous lifestyle, just fornicating and doing all things. And fornicate don't mean just randomly having sex like that out of marriage, but kind of sexualizing yourselves and damaging this temple. When you're committed in a relationship, it's a hindrance, an obstacle. You kind of think twice. Boy, I'm married, no, I'm not gonna do this. As opposed to if you're single, the obstacle is not so pronounced. It doesn't matter who you are. Could even be Mother Teresa. We don't know. Maybe there are times when she slipped. We don't know. And I'm saying that for you to run with that theorem. I'm saying to you that we need to be careful how we're pressuring people into marriages. Do you see the number? For every person that gets married, the next person gets divorced. It's like maybe 2 to 1 or 1 on 1. And that's a problem. That is a major problem. There are many people, when you talk to them, how many times they married? 3, 4, 5. And it doesn't mean that they're bad people. I mean, I don't like that, because in some cases you wonder if they have gone back into the book of Malachi, which was 400 years before the New Testament, before the book, especially the book of Matthew, and the men would divorce the woman for nonsense, gibberish or some whatever it is, how you pronounce it. If she sneezed, you divorce her. If she didn't tell you she was on her menstrual cycle, you divorce her. If she burned the food, you divorce her. She interrupted a meeting that you had with men, you divorce, or ridiculous things. That is why that's a major part and parcel why God hates divorce, because it was not done under right circumstances. And sometimes they got the warning not to marry this person, and they still did that, and then have to put them through another pain of going through divorce, and it affects the children, it affects other family members, and then that spirit ends up passing down, and you find that the cycle, the generational curse of divorce following family after family after family, simply because of disobedience. Stop pressuring people into marriage. Of course, people, if we have what, 8 billion people, I'm sure 7.5 out of billion people would love to get married. I'm just giving that figure. Maybe it's just 7 billion. Maybe it's not so high. Maybe it's more. Maybe it's the entire 8 billion. Because it's a desire that is in the heart of man and woman, not just women. You know, you want to know that you made the right choice. You want to go for gold, not bronze, or not even silver, so to speak. Stop pressuring people. A number of people are trying to get out. I remember somebody who was married. Twice a person was married and divorced. Younger than I am. And she said she was at a point where she started to envy single people, meaning she wanted to be single. I heard a man describe it as like some of these marriages like a fly on the inside, and he's locked in and him dying to go. He saw the fly and pitch. And he wanted to come out. Cannot come out. Bull in the pen, you can't come out sort of a situation. Stop pressuring people. And I realize that people are getting married because of just the dress or the outfit, or just making your marriage be at a particular event. It looks good. It's just the aesthetic of the marriage. I want to get this nice looking ring. I want to get this nice looking wedding dress. I want my husband to wear this particular suit. The groomsmen, the bridesmaids, and the chief, and everybody just looks good eating, but not so much. I want to spend the rest of my life with this person. I can't live without this person. Sometimes I can't live with them, but I really can't live with them. I love this individual. So I want to make this commitment. I want our marriage to honor God and show people that we can have healthy marriages. You understand what I'm saying to you? That people are just getting married to us and say, yes, I'm married, but hell, living in the hell. Satan just sitting down on their laps, eating his popcorn and drinking his soda, laughing at them. Stop pressuring people into marriage. Stop pressuring. Do you realize that the birth rate has reduced? You know why? Because people are stressed, and they watch their parents, get stressed and treat them bad, raise them badly, and they decide that, I'm not in the best space and place right now to raise children and to have a marriage. I'm going to wait until I become the best version of me, and then I get married. If I'm at a certain age, so be it. Look at Sarah. Most people not going to be having children at 90. You know what I mean? But if you have it at a later stage, you have it at a later stage. And if your child is to be healthy, your child will be healthy. You need to do your part, obviously, but you trust God for basically the entire thing. Stop pressuring people into marriage. Stop it. It is not good. You don't know. Of course, they probably want to get married, but you don't know what they're undergoing psychologically and mentally and emotionally. I don't encourage people who are suffering from narcissism, arrogance, pride. If your sexuality, if you know you're not sure, and to be rushing into marriage because you don't want people to accuse you of this and to accuse. Just stop it. Ask God to work on you. You don't get up and if you know your your tires are flat, something is wrong with the engine, something is wrong with the transmission, and still drive it. Try and drive it and see what happens. You don't do that. You try and get the car to a good, working, fully functional state, and then you begin your process of driving the motor vehicle. People, don't make anybody pressure you. Don't do it to be getting married and to be having children. Eventually, if you are to, you will. You will. Just trust God. Relax. It's good to be alone for a time. God won't make you be lonely. You won't be lonely. There's a difference between being alone and lonely. Alone time is to kind of do introspection and retrospection and commune with God and know who you are. See your flaws and ask God to work on them. Lonely is like you don't have anybody, you trust no one, you're rejected, ostracized, and you just go into a shell and you implode. That's a different thing. That's not what God wants for you. So don't allow anyone to pressure you into just running into marriage like that. When it is the time is right, I, the Lord, as he says, will make it happen. All right, you know what to do. Read TikTok, YouTube. Have a